Hey everybody, Miss Dietrich here. We're taking a look at question number 8, I believe, from Quiz 5A. Kelly has a ribbon that is 60 inches long. She cuts off 40% of the ribbon for an art project. While working on the project, she decides she only needs 75% of the piece she cut off. How much of the ribbon does Kelly end up with in her project? All right, so in order to understand this, you really do need to do a double tape diagram. So let's just model the situation of cutting off 40%. So that's this piece right here, and let's label it as cut off, and we'll put in 40%. Now when we think about what that means over here, we're going to have a remaining chunk of ribbon. The remaining chunk would be 60%. Why 60%? Because the 40 plus 60 has to equal the whole ribbon, which is 100%. Now, if we model the ribbon itself underneath, if we have the entire ribbon, they're saying it's a 60-inch long ribbon. This represents the ribbon. And if we kind of think about what's that chunk going to look like, what's the actual number of inches of that, we really need to figure out this red chunk. We need to figure out what's 40% of 60. So we have a couple ways we can do that. One way is to calculate, turn this into a decimal, move the decimal over to the left, that becomes 0.4. We can do that. Or if you like to do the fraction equivalent, 40% looks like this as a fraction, and we can multiply that by 60. Now you might like that better only when you simplify this, because if we first get rid of the divide by 10, so we can get rid of the zeros, and now 10 would be compatible with that. So if we divide by 10, we get 1 here, and if we divide this by 10, we get 6. So you would just have to find what 4 times 6 is, and it would be the same thing you would get here. Well, hopefully either way, you see that would end up being 24 inches of ribbon. So this is 24 inches of ribbon. Now we could figure out how many inches this is. Let's see if that's even necessary. All right, so let's try to dissect this part. While working on the project, she decides she only needs 75% of the piece that she cut off. So that means we need 75% of this piece. So let's kind of clone this, right, and visualize what 75% of that would look like. So that means she would want, let's use a different color, she would want 3/4 of that, right? 75% is 3/4. So if the whole thing is 24 and she needs 3/4 of that, probably the easiest way to do this is to just multiply 24 times 3/4, because this is the decimal equivalent, I'm sorry, the fraction equivalent of this. Now you could also take 24 and multiply it by 0.75 and get your answer that way. So if you prefer that, that's another option. All right, so let's recap what we need to do here. We found that 40% of 60, which is the entire ribbon, is 24 inches. If we take that 24 inches and think about what's 75% of that, because she's only using 75% of this red piece, 75% of that would be whatever this product is. And then they're asking how much of the ribbon does Kelly end up with in her project. That would be the answer. All right, so good luck finishing this up.